finally airs, or maybe good afternoon. Blair, what time is it where you are? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I think it's going to be good evening in Cancun when this finally airs, or maybe good afternoon. Blair, what time is it where you are right now, by the way?
1 in the afternoon.
Are you in, where are you, Eastern time? Where are you located?
In the Central time zone. So I'm okay. Texas, right in the center of the US. So
thank you for communicating with me in Eastern time, though, because I do find that one the easiest of all the time zones to negotiate in the US. We're here to primarily talk about Jessica Pegula, of course, up against Iga Swiatek in the WTA final. I always find that a weird thing to say. And when you were doing it a year ago, Blair, when you say the WTA finals final, was that unusual?
It was. I just had to sort of get used to it and plow through. It definitely sounded strange coming out of my mouth, for sure.
Before we get into the match itself, I do want to sort of touch on a little bit on that. Of course, a year ago, you were there in the thick of the action in Fort Worth, not this year in Cancun. What have you made of some of the goings on in Mexico?
I think it's just really unfortunate for everyone involved, for the players. I know so many people who work in tennis who are on the op side of things, people who work in the WTA who this wasn't the goal. This is not what they would have hoped would have happened either. And I know that there are a lot of decisions behind the scenes that none of us know, and I wouldn't have wanted to be the one to try to make those decisions. But the outcome has unfortunately been not great for a lot of reasons, and you want the players to feel celebrated at the year-end event, and there's just the feeling that maybe they haven't exactly felt that, and that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's been building regarding a discontent among the players, but in hindsight, looking back, were there some clues that maybe this wasn't going to be a perfectly run event?
Well, I think just the fact that it got announced in a similar timeline to last year's WTA finals, that's what we were all hoping was going to be remedied in 2023. And again, the fact that that didn't happen, I'm sure there was a good reason for that. We have no idea what's happening behind the scenes, but that was the hope, that we didn't have this short lead up time. I think it's almost impossible to pull off an event like this to the level that the WTA would want to. It's the premier women's sport in the world in that short period of time. And I know that Fort Worth had some haters last year because we did have thin crowds at the very beginning.
Good afternoon.
Fort Worth had some haters last year because we did have thin crowds at the very beginning. We also had a massive stadium. The stadium had a capacity of over 10,000, which was probably, and Steve Simon said it during the event, it's probably too big for the WTA finals. But honestly, by the end and by how pumped the fans were and engaged, even when we didn't have massive crowds, the crowds were very engaged in what was happening. And at the end, people were into it and excited and pumped. It just made me think that had there been a longer runway to promote it, maybe you could have filled up 10,000 seats. Who knows? It's an incredible product, and it's just a bummer to not see it get that billing as the incredible product that it is, sporting product.
Well, also perhaps as well, the tennis was a little bit better last year. Certainly some unbelievable matches. I remember speaking to you just under a year ago about Kasatkina Garcia, for example, but also the semi-final between Iga and Arena. And then the final itself was straight sets last year, but I remember it being a very high quality final. At times this year, there's been some very comfortable results, let's say, with straight sets, routine wins. What is your thought, though, regarding the upcoming match between Pegula and Swiatek? And before actually I get your thoughts on how, that might play out and who might win and who might not, tell me about the two individuals. I mean, I guess you've spoken to both of them several times over the years.
Well, can I just say one quick note on the quality of play? I, as somebody who hates playing tennis in the wind, I have wanted to cry for these players over the past week. Not only the wind, but the breaks in play because of the rain. And of course, nobody can control that.
And the music they can control. Did you see that?
I saw Maria Cicek's reaction to the music because of course she was also in the chair for the infamous Cotton Eye.
Yes.
Which again, somebody, I think it was Bastian on Twitter, Fashan. I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong. I should get it right by now. But I think he said that the DJ has the chance to do something really hilarious today. I think maybe as long as Maria Cicek isn't in the chair. But yes, there have just been a lot of extenuating factors that have maybe led to the fact that it hasn't been the cleanest tennis. I don't think it would have been the cleanest tennis no matter who was out on the court. Okay, so to answer your question, circling back to what you asked,
no problem.
Jess and Iga. Jess Pegula is one of the most amazingly authentic professional athletes I have ever met. And that's not to say there aren't a lot of authentic people out there, but what you see is exactly what you get. If she's not in the best mood, she's probably just going to tell you, hey, it's a tough day. This may not be my best interview. And she would just tell you outright. She just has this level of, it's like an effortless coolness to her where she's just going to tell you like it is. And it's incredibly refreshing. I have really enjoyed getting to know her more. In particular, over the past year, she, Frances Tiafoe, when they were playing in United Cup at the beginning of the year, which has another tie into that Swiatek Pegula matchup. But Frances said, we all called her, well, I think Frances started it and maybe it took off from there, but called her the GOAT Pegula because everybody just genuinely loves her. She's a professional, an absolute pro in everything that she does. And she's just so level-headed on the court. She would be a player that would unnerve me if I were on the other side of the net because she just seems, I'm going to make this word up, but unruffleable.
We're full of making words up here, don't worry.
There you go. No, there are no rules here. But again, huge fan of sort of what she's been able to do without having to put on a personality that maybe isn't authentically her. She's done it her way and has become one of the biggest stars in the game, and you love to see it. And then on the Swiatek side of things, similar in a lot of ways, just much different seemingly personalities. I love that Iga, I feel like, has also found her voice in a way, hasn't been scared to say when she's bothered by something. She obviously has done amazing work off the court in support of the conflict in Ukraine. So multifaceted players, and I think really amazing representatives for women's tennis.
Right. The match itself, I'm really pleased that you touched on that United Cup match that they had at the beginning of the year, because that was a bit of a rude awakening, perhaps, certainly for Swiatek fans, if not for Swiatek herself. Perhaps the fast-paced court, Sydney, I think there was a bit of travel involved for Egan for that particular match, unlike Jessica Pegula. I think it would have been playing in Sydney for a little while before that. They've obviously played each other a few times as well. Where's it going to be won and lost, do you think? And stick your neck on the block if you can, and give us some kind of a prediction.
Oh gosh. Well, the good news is, if you've ever heard my predictions, whatever I say, you should probably think the opposite is going to happen.
You and me both. But the trick is, Blair, you only talk about your successes. You never talk about the failures.
There you go. Well, one thing that stuck out to me this week was, I believe it was Marketa Vondrousova describing the court. And she said, it's like a not great clay court, or a bad clay court, something along those lines.
I can imagine Daniel Medvedev saying, I'm a hard court specialist on that particular court, and saying, this is not a hard court.
That's exactly right. So, but it made me think, if that is indeed the case, I would think perhaps the advantage goes to Swiatek coming in. But a couple things that I was thinking about in terms of this matchup. One, I love that Iga has said, hey, listen, I think she wants that year-end number one. She wanted to play Sabalenka for the number one. She wanted it to be on the line. And I think that's the sign of a true champion, is wanting to have to go out and win it, not wanting it to sort of happen tangentially and be like, oh, wow, I'm number one in the world, or whatever it is. So I love that she has that mindset. I think that's huge. Jessie just has ice in her veins. And that's not technical at all. They both can come in. Everybody likes, I mean, these are the things we all know. Everybody likes Swiatek's footwork. I haven't checked the weather today in Cancun. I don't know how windy it is. I think probably the more windy it is, the more that would favor Swiatek, just because she has a little more margin, or she has the ability to have a little bit more margin on her balls, and maybe put a little bit more spin on her balls. So if it's a windy day, I would say maybe the advantage goes to Swiatek. If not, I'm going to go Pegula. So my prediction is hinging on the weather report, Sean.
All right. Listen, I think it's going to be dry, but you never know. I think there might be a bit of wind, especially on the coast there in Mexico. There's one other thing that I want you to do for me, because this, I'm fine with saying this is pre-recorded. It'll be going out just shortly, in the sort of 15-20 minutes before the match itself, Blair. But there's a couple of people, one of which is a regular on our show, Miles, and he said, oh, Blair's not going to be on WTA Weekly this week. That's a pity. And it's like, yeah, but we'll fix it. I said to him at the time, I said, we'll get on in a few weeks. Don't worry. I didn't realize it would be within a couple of hours, actually, with this. The other is Nick as well, the host. He was like, okay, never mind. I'll speak to Blair some other time. So if you can just say hi to Miles.
Hi, Miles. I'm so sad that I missed you this time, and let's do it again. And same to Nick as well.
And same to Nick. Yeah, I was going to say, and say to Nick, I hadn't forgotten you, by the way. I was just going to do you as well. But Blair, listen, that's a huge, wonderful thing that you came on today. And I'm sure we'll cross paths again somewhere, somehow, quite possibly electronically. But Blair, by the way, if I do come across you, I do want you to, practice a bit more of your Spanish. I remember we were speaking via email recently, and you said, well, yeah, maybe I should learn some Spanish before I go to Cancun, if it ever comes up again.
Well, as somebody who grew up in South Florida and decided to take French, it was a missed opportunity, John. As much as I love the French language, it perhaps is not as helpful to me living in Florida and Texas for most of my life. But anyway, this is a joy. I'm sorry it's taken us 1 year to do this again, and I would love to do it again when I can actually watch some more of the tennis.
Blair, listen, we're quite busy, but we're not as busy as you. I think I sent you an email today as well, just asking you about your roll call of tournaments. And there was a lengthy list on there. And so we really appreciate your time. So thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Awesome work as always.
Thanks, Blair.
play.
Hey, Nick.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
This is the WTA Finals final. And I am so excited about this. I think if anyone's been following me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, you've seen my excitement levels are through the roof for this match. And it's great to see so many people here wanting to enjoy this with us. And I am, do you know what? One of the reasons why I was excited about this wasn't just because it's going to be great match. I think I'm so excited with two players in really good form, but I'm also so excited to do it with Miles because I always have great fun with you on these shows. Welcome,
That is
Miles.
a mutual and reciprocated feeling, my friend. Happy Monday. Happy Magic last match of the season Monday. And I'm excited for this one. I've been keeping up with what your thoughts are on Swiatek's performance, Pegula's performances so far this week. And I've also heard that I think you're caught between two feelings of wanting this to be an epic or Swiatek to win quite comfortably. And I want the opposite.
I thought you might. Yeah, I thought that's what
we're on good sides.
Look, let's face it. Okay. Those of you who might be new here, you're talking to an Iga Swiatek fan. Miles, you are a Coco Gauff fan mainly. But I'm also a big support, but I also do like Jessica Pegula. I think I saw someone put in the chat earlier about how she seems to lack charisma, and I completely disagree. I mean, like, I'm sorry, I love the energy from the beer moment at the US Open a couple of years ago. Like, she's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. This is me. What you see is what you get. This is who I am, and she's very open about it. She's already beaten the world number 1, the world number 3, and the world number 4. So if you beat Swiatek, she could be the first person to beat all the top 4 in one tournament, which is insane. And would probably confirm herself as a legit major contender. In my view. No, in my view. If she wins this.
Somebody said on my timeline, I think yesterday or the day before that, watching Pegula play made them think that they could basically write her name on the Australian Open trophy. And I literally had to type
I wouldn't go that far.
Hold your horses.
Let's face it, we've got Iga Swiatek.
All of that being said, I do think Pegula has a good chance in this match. And I do think it'll mean a lot if she wins it. I do.
Well, shall we get started? Because the players are lining up on my screen and Iga Swiatek is getting ready to serve. Here we go. They've had ready, play. And Swiatek is bouncing the ball. She is going to be serving first in this season finale match. Who doesn't like a good season?
I love it.
Sorry?
I feel like we built tension for the match appropriately, and I feel tension in the match. Not between the players, but just in the moment. You know, there's a lot.
Yeah. They like. I think they like each other. So, and I think let's face it, we can't top the great preview that John and Blair did. Let's be honest.
That was really, really great. I enjoyed Blair quite a bit, and of course, I enjoyed John. So that was a great listen.
We're into the first point of the match, and Pegula got a great return in play, pushing Swiatek back, but Swiatek managed to get the backhand into play, and Pegula stepping into court, puts the forehand well over the baseline, so Swiatek wins the first point, and now she's talking to the umpire about something. So how far ahead am I of you?
The first point has just started.
Okay.
So I haven't seen Swiatek talk to the chair umpire yet.
Yeah, I've got no sound, so I have no idea.
I have faint sound. So I'm going to try to put this ear here to see what's going on.
Miles, the multitasking man of talking tennis. You'll find my alliteration is quite common. I also talked about a Coco comeback in chaotic Cancun.
Yes, I love alliteration. That's why we see each other now.
Swiatek this time is much more proactive, and that point comes into net. Pegula tries to lob her, but the lob goes onto the baseline. But Swiatek had to run all the way back to get it anyway. 30 love. It's great to see so many people online. It's great to see people here. We've got
some regulars, some new folks. We love to see it.
got so many new people. It's brilliant. But also our old favorites like Ghosty and Terry and Lewis and Hector. Unreturnable servants Swiatek to go 40 love up. Yeah, always great to see you lot. And, you know, again, as I always say, throw your thoughts in this. You guys are as much the commentators as we are on this channel. That's why we talk tennis here.
I love that.
I may have to explain my choice of outfit in a minute because I know Ghosty's already making comments. There is a reason, but we'll do the change of ends. Let's see how quickly we get to this change of ends. Swiatek is serving, but that was nowhere near clearing the net on the first serve. Really awkward serve there. Second serve. Swiatek seems to bite her lip as she's serving. Backhand in play from Pegula. Swiatek rushed on the forehand, puts it in the middle of the net. A little tight there, I think.
Swiatek does have a little twitch, a couple different twitches before she serves. I've noticed them for quite a while too. She like bites her lip, she twitches her nose a little bit.
I think the most distinctive like facial expression when serving is Ostapenko's. It's sort of like she seems to just open her mouth as wide open as possible when she's serving.
Daniela Hantakova used to do that too. Serving is just so interesting and specific to the person. Like it just is they
probably don't even realize they're doing it. That's a double fault from Swiatek. Yeah. There's definitely some tightness there because the first serve again went in the middle of the net, and the second serve came off the top of the net and over the service line. There's definite tightness from Iga here.
I think she'll work it out.
I would expect that. Yeah, I'm not expecting this to be the norm. Maybe she was a bit rattled by that first return in play from Pegula. Great, got to the first serve in play. Great return from Pegula. Swiatek gets that forehand cross court into play. Pegula cannot. She barely gets a frame on it. That's a winner. That's Swiatek walking to the chair to get a quick drink and change sides.
Confident.
So, yeah, I do need to explain this because I appreciate Ghosty thinks I look like the backup. Look at very few things. So, the current temperature in the UK is 6 degrees centigrade or 43 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, yes, I would be bundled up as well.
And currently the heating in my house does not work. So, hence,
I've unfortunately been there, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
So,
if
I would prefer
bundle up my 78-degree weather here in New Orleans and give some to you, I would.
I appreciate it. Thank you. That would at least double the temperature here. I actually don't know how centigrade to Fahrenheit works. So, hopefully, as I warm up and get excited for this match, maybe you'll see some layers coming off. But before anyone gets excited, it's just a jumper underneath another jumper. We don't do that kind of content on YouTube.
Hold your horses, people. Niggas not going to give it away for free, okay?
Exactly. So Pegula's got a second serve, just gets it over into the box. Swiatek's on the attack with the backhand, pushes Pegula back. There's kind of a neutral rally there going cross court. Pegula changing direction with the forehand, backhand Swiatek into the net. 15 love Pegula.
Your internet is fabulous, by the way, because I've been doing most of these matches all week, and I haven't felt as behind as I do now.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the thing where I'm like, I may as well let people know what's happening as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And also, I am, as Swiatek's gone wide with the forehand 30 love.
You're in sync with the score.
Yeah, I'm in sync with the score. Yeah. I'd also I'm sorry, I can't help it. I have to describe what's going on.
Oh, it's not a problem.
I get annoyed, but I can't tell people what's happening. I know for we've got a lot of people watching and they probably want to know what's happening. And it's a rally right now. Swiatek's come into the net, great backhand approach shot. Pegula tries to lob Swiatek, but it goes way into the tram line, and that's a point on the Pegula serve for Swiatek, 30-15. James, to answer your question, no, the heating won't work. So it's not a case of me being cheap. It's a case of the heating will not work.
Maintenance.
Yes. Swiatek goes wide with the forehand, 40-15. Yeah, I'm just having a look at what, I'll probably get your thoughts on this maybe whenever you see it, but I'm just getting the sense at the minute that neither player's fully settled in, But
I was just thinking that Pegula didn't look too fleet of foot so far in her service game. Like, she didn't look slow, but she just didn't look as crisp as I've seen.
That's a shanked forehand from Swiatek game to Pegula. Yeah, at the minute, most of it is kind of Pegula's not really pushing Iga too much. She's kind of happy to rally and let Iga make errors, which is fine. But at some point, we would assume we can't assume Iga's going to keep making these errors.
You can't live with her doing that defensive thing the whole entire match. I don't believe that's not how she's beating her. So,
I mean,
but I think it's good that they got on the board easily, because it must mean something to like know that you're a little nervous and still be able to get on the board easily and early on in the set. So hopefully that's just a foundation for a really good rest of the match.
That's a good point. Great serve from Iga, then charges in because it looked like it was going to be really short from Pegula on the return, but it ended up just not making it over the net. Goes into the middle of it, 15-love. And there's that marginally improved Iga's first serve on display there. Yeah, we'll see how this kind of goes into full flow of the match. But these are players with very similar strengths: great returns, great defense. Iga maybe just had a little bit more obvious weaponry than Pegula, but even then, like, it's deceptive. As Pegula actually comes into net and cranks a winner, as she says that, as I say that, gets the short ball from Iga and comes in and finishes it off. Like, she does hit the ball. Like, when you watch her in real life, it's much. So I've not actually seen it. This is what I've heard, that she does hit with a lot more power than it suggests on TV. It's just that Swiatek's weaponry is a lot more kind of obvious.
She said that as much on the Tennis Channel analyst yesterday, that maybe it doesn't come across as on television because she's not super physical. Like, you can tell that there's a little bit of effort in physicality in the way that Swiatek takes her cuts. But in Pegula, it's kind of more linear, it's compact, it's smooth, so you can't really obviously tell. But there's still pace on the ball, I should say.
Have you ever seen Pegula play in real life?
No, I haven't. I don't believe. I think I may have seen a glimpse of her at the U.S. Open in doubles, but I don't think I saw any of her singles matches. I don't believe.
Really good body serve from Iga on the back, forcing Pegula to try and take it to a backhand right in her body, and Pegula pushes it into the tram lines because, well, she couldn't really control it. So great, smart serve from Iga Swiatek there, 30-15. And she's now on to she's already on to the next point, but she's missed the first serve. This is potentially a scrappy game coming up for Iga. Pegula's actually stepping inside the baseline to receive the second serve.
She's been doing that all week. I love to see that. She did it great against Sabalenka in the round robin stage.
Again, very good on the return. Very short serve from Iga, but it catches Pegula out, which it kicks up, and then that's a great follow-up forehand. Pegula is in no man's land in the court, and Iga manages to put the forehand. She wasn't really going for like a power, but she puts it right in the corner on the near the baseline on the, what would it be, the juice side. And Pegula was inside the baseline on the ad side, so just punishing her for being so far inside and in the wrong side, in no man's land. So smart shot there from Swiatek.
Her directional pace has been pretty good, especially in the last match against Sabalenka. She didn't really feel like she was ever going for too much, but when she did hit inside the court, it was full of pace. So she was definitely sharp. Seems like she'll get up to that level again today. Yeah.
Returning play from Pegula on the second serve. Backhand just over the net. Swiatek scrambling on the defense. Pegula tries to go for attacking backhand, puts it in the top of the net, and Swiatek holds 2-1. You know what? I might have to take the scarf off.
It's getting hot in here. Nelly made a bunch of money.
I'm not singing that on stream.
Nelly made a bunch of money singing that, so it's okay.
Yeah, but I don't need to give her more.
Nelly is a guy, Nick. Are you thinking Nelly Furtado? That's a woman. Yeah.
I actually don't know who sang the song, so
I had a feeling you were going to say that too.
My logic popular cultures, I know songs. I have no idea who sang them.
Wait, we're at a change of ends. Should I educate you on who sings "Hot in Here"?
I mean, we're at a change of ends. We can discuss anything, but
"Hot in Here" is the #1 hip hop song by rapper Nelly, who is originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I think "Hot in Here" is his biggest song. I think.
One hit wonder.
Also, are you into country? He has a crossover country song with If you're listening to this and know exactly what song I'm talking about, it's called Over and Over Again, I think. Hold on.
Okay, so
That's way too close.
my ex was into country music and made me listen to a lot of it on car journeys. So whilst I don't hate it,
you don't hate it.
Anyway, so we're back on court. Thank goodness for that. We're not really talking about tennis much here, are we? And yet somehow all the mentioning of like various rappers and me taking off layers of clothing seems to have gained us viewers somehow.
Hey, see?
So hello everyone. Yes, this is usually this chaotic, but we do try and like tell you what's going on in the match. And at the minute, it's kind of been a nervous start. Ghost, to answer your question, do Brits like country? Yeah, there's quite a strong country following in the UK. I would say. So yeah, so we're into it. Right. We're back on court. So by the way, if you're enjoying this content, feel free to give us a like. Let us we're getting our videos regular up to like 20 likes. We'll have to get it for 30 for the final.
We'd love to see that. Excuse me while I'm doing music research.
Oh, good grief. Focus on the tennis, Miles. Pegula should be focusing on the tennis. She just put a forehand into the net. Love 15.
This is probably why they don't allow phones during changeovers, because you never know what could pop in your head. And with Google,
that is true.
Anything
I think Pegula's just missed that first serve. Just goes long. It was a nice tee serve. Would have had Iga way on the defensive. Double fault from Pegula, love 30. Not really what she needs right now. Couple of critical errors there. And
a little bit of a window.
Yeah. Like, rescuable. There's no need to panic unless it's love 40. First serve in play. Swiatek really attacks with the forehand, though, on the return, and then goes on the attack again with the forehand. Backhand Pegula's the Swiatek backhand. That's short. Backhand Pegula accelerating through that. Swiatek still gets it back. Pegula's gone behind with her forehand to the Swiatek backhand, and that just kicks through the court. Might have been a weird bounce. It's 15-30. It's still a winner from the American. So, yeah. This must be a nightmare match for Ghosty, by the way, because these are his two players that we know.
He's not a big fan of
either player. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that, because I don't think there's any player on the WTA tour that I root against.
I would like to say that and be truthful, but I don't necessarily.
Oh, huge forehand from Iga Swiatek, and Pegula cannot get a racket. She got a racket on it. No hope of controlling it. The ball goes in the stands. Yeah, Pegula was just running, stretching, gets a frame on the ball, ends up in the stands. It's 15-40, but that was a Swiatek special. It's 15-40.
First break point of the match.
Here we go. Long from the first serve from Pegula, trying to go up the tee. Unlike Pegula, Swiatek staying behind the baseline to receive. Steps in, though. Goes on the attack with a forehand. Right to the Pegula backhand. Backhand Swiatek up in the middle of the court, keeping it neutral. Swiatek backhand to the Pegula backhand. Tries to change direction. Goes wide. Swiatek breaks. 3-1.
She's definitely the more alert. More alert. Moving her feet better like she always does. She's really sharp.
I mean, now, I would say first game of the match, no.
Yeah.
First couple of games, no. But now she's switched on.
However, that was the best game of the match so far. And she breaks.
Far. However, we have seen it from Swiatek where she'll go a break up and then concede a break. Like, although she has this reputation of being a great front runner and being quite dominant, she does, like most tennis players, I think 99% of players still concede like these loose games every now and again. So she has to back it up. Great serve from Iga Swiatek. Up the tee to the backhand of Pegula, can't really swing through the stroke, and the ball goes over the baseline, 15 love.
Iga's looked good in almost every match. I think the first set against Vajrusa was a little bit shaky, but she looked good against Coco. She looked better against Ons and even better against Sabalenka in the semi. So which is
what she does. She tends to get better and better every match. Pegula's put a backhand into the net, 30 love.
I kind of want it to be a 3-set classic now because I literally have cookies and chips. I have snacks.
You brought snacks for this?
Not intentionally. I just like it's. I don't even describe it, but just know I have snacks in case we go the distance.
I don't judge you for it. I think that's a good call. Serve out wide from Swiatek, then goes on the attack with the forehand, the Pegula forehand. Goes again, Swiatek loops up the forehand, but it's over the baseline. No. It clipped the baseline. Pegula's forehand was way over the baseline. It's 40 love. I thought the Swiatek shot was out, but it's one of those. I'm going to do this. I'm sorry, guys. One of the reasons why I love Swiatek is those shots that she plays where like it shouldn't go in, but it does.
It dipped at the last minute. Yeah. She
Dips
has a great way of doing that.
It's like that heart in your mouth moment of watching those kind of strokes and the spin puts it in play.
It's her grip and the way she just attacks on that forehand. It can look like it's going out, but because of those exact same things, it spins inward at the last minute. Strings and technology, racket technology and stuff, that helps too.
Right. She got second serve at 40-15. Pegula, huge forehand on the return, but Iga puts a very short forehand into court. Pegula's managed to get to it though and puts a forehand winner up the line 40-15. That's going to make her feel a bit better.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Pegula. She's not going to make this easy.
Yeah, but I think there's something interesting about Iga that if she wins here, it quickly goes from like really tight at 1-all, 2-1 to quickly 4-1. Iga has a great way of like just really stepping on you and keeping on the pressure. So,
that's the beauty of the tennis scoring system. Great return from Pegula, but Iga scrambles the backhand. Pegula tries to hit a big forehand, bounces off the top of the net and into the tram lines. Game Swiatek 4-1. Ghosty's
4-1 looks so quickly different than 1-all, you know? And just that quick, only 18 minutes into a set, it feels like Swiatek has all the momentum and she's driving the car in the fast lane.
So things can change so quickly in a tennis match, and you know we saw that in the golf match, the Swiatek golf match, which I did with Anastasia, and the shift in momentum in that second set was just wild. Also, the golf von Drusheva, that was pretty wild as well. That was the Coco comeback.
That's probably the match of the tournament in the round robin stage, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I haven't seen all of them, but I would. It's definitely that. Yeah, I'd agree.
You're not missing too much.
But
you're not missing the bagel sets. Trust me.
Didn't Rybakina have a comeback win against someone?
Well, no. Sabalenka beat Rybakina.
Yeah,
Rybakina
Sakkari.
Lost to Pegula.
Sakkari.
Yes, against Sakkari. Even though she beat Sakkari in the first set 6-love, she lost the second set in tiebreak and won the third one in tiebreak. So okay, yeah.
By the way, let us know, because Ghost put a good question in the chat. What are your tennis watching snacks of choice?
It depends. Sometimes I can literally be eating dinner and watch tennis, and sometimes I can have like chips or granola or I don't know. Sometimes I can have nothing at all, depending on how early it is.
I'm usually eating dinner whilst watching the tennis. So yeah, usually then what I ever have for dessert. Usually though,
Wimbledon?
Going to be potato chips.
If you're of a certain age and you remember NBC's coverage of Wimbledon, you would have breakfast at Wimbledon, which I think is a great concept. At least it felt that way for me in the States. Like waking up, having literal breakfast, and Wimbledon coming on at like 7, 8 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, I have similar memories of the Australian Open when I was in like, well, what Americans would call high school. Like that was during exam season, like winter exam season. So it would be wake up, watch the matches, and then study for my exams.
The way it should be.
I mean, I should probably caveat that people wondering why were you staying and watching while you were watching tennis at first thing in the morning in Australia. I actually managed to catch most of the night sessions because I was actually homeschooled.
Oh. I just have poor sleeping habits, so I call all the matches.
How old were you when you first really got into tennis?
I was just talking about this. It was the summer of 2006, so I was 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, probably similar ages then. Backhand up the line from Pegula. Swiatek scrambles the forehand. Forehand Pegula. It's 15-0. Swiatek still scrambling it, but that one's not scrambled enough, and it goes out over the baseline. It's 30-15. Pegula managing to move Swiatek around well enough to eventually break down the defense.
She has to keep doing that. She can't afford to go down another break here at all. If she does, pretty set over. And the momentum squarely with Swiatek at that point.
James is quite right. The perfect tennis watching snack is popcorn.
With hot sauce. I'm serious, by the way. Hot sauce and popcorn is a great combo. A little quirky, but it's very good.
I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, get your snacks. It shows. Are you guys snacking and watching this match? Are you having dinner? Are you having breakfast?
Let us know.
Back in Australia.
If you guys in the comments tell me what you're eating, I'm going to feel more confident to actually take a bite out of my chip and or cookie. If you guys have been watching me throughout the week, then you know I've been told I chew weirdly.
Oh, Pegula's gone along with the forehand. They were again, bit of a neutral rally there. Then it started to go into a cross-court exchange. Pegula tried to change direction, go up the line, put it over the baseline. 30-all. Iga's wondering if Iga's seeing if she can get some breadsticks in the oven. She's thinking about it.
Wouldn't that be something though?
Sorry?
Wouldn't that be something if she kind of gives a breadstick in this last match of the season? And she holds the record, or she has tied, I think, Steffi Graf and Monica Seles for back-to-back seasons with over 20 bagels. I think she got that in the round robin.
Oh, that's an incredible get from Iga Swiatek. Incredible get on the backhand. It looks like it's going to go out. She's on the stretch, and it lands bang on the sideline. 30-40 break point.
Another break point.
Pegula serves out wide. The first serve's in phase. A great serve for Pegula. She's coming into the net. Swiatek serve tried to hit the pass. Pegula picks it up over the baseline. It was like it dropped to her feet. She had to pick it off from right by her feet and put the backhand over the baseline. 5-1. Swiatek is serving for this first set.
How did Pegula let that backhand down the line go? I think she must think it was going to float wide, but it didn't. It smacked.
I thought it was going wide.
Yeah. She didn't have much of a reaction to it either, which is, I don't know. I guess that's part of the course for Pegula.
Well, she's just had a reaction to losing that break because she smacked a ball into the net while Swiatek is fist pumping.
Yeah. She must have been thinking about that point just prior because she let that ball go and it literally smacked on the line. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And just that quick, not even 30 minutes into the match, we're at 5-1.
Yeah. I mean, for the spectacle, I was hoping for it to be a little bit more competitive.
Same as well. Also,
I mean, look, I have been torn, but for the benefit of the viewers and for myself to make things interesting, because I do want to commentate on some great Pegula winners as well. Yeah, it's 15-love.
I mean, Swiatek hasn't given Pegula much room to have any sparkling winners. She's pretty much smothering it. So.
Forehand inside out from Swiatek. Backhand Pegula into the net. 30-love. Yeah, it's she's kind of trudging around a bit, and she's kind of complaining about her lackluster swing just by her body language. Swiatek, 30-love. Is the bakery going to open, or will she burn the bread?
Pegula just isn't sharp in her movement. Like even the little steps to get to that backhand, she missed, and she kind of pouted afterwards. But the movement isn't sharp. It's not really sharp, and nor is she timed the ball really greatly either.
Swiatek's getting ready to serve. Pegula stepped inside the baseline to second serve because Swiatek's put the first into the net. Second serve. Pegula kind of jammed up a bit, but she gets it into play. Backhand to the backhand of Swiatek. They're trading backhands right now. But that was a really lackluster backhand from Pegula. Puts it into the net. 40-love. Set 3 set points for Iga Swiatek.
That quickly.
I'm pretty sure they're both on a run of sets as well. I think they're both. I don't think either of them have dropped a set yet.
No, I don't believe so.
So, yeah, which I was going to mention at the beginning of the set, but we may as well mention it at the end. Swiatek serves. Body serve. Pegula tries to sort of do a jab forehand right at her body. Doesn't work. Ends up in the tram line, and it is game and the first set to Swiatek 6-1, and that is the first set this tournament that Jessica Pegula has dropped.
And she dropped it quickly. That was putting a foot down on the accelerator and keeping it there. That's exactly how Pegula, that's exactly how Swiatek lost that.
Yeah, I do think, I do have to say, it's I don't think we can say Pegula dropped that set.
No, I definitely would say that Swiatek took the break and just kept it on coming. Like that was just what I could see. Like I think that's what makes her so great. Like she literally takes advantage of one of your weak opportunities in a game, and before you know it, you're down 5-1, and you're serving to stay in the set or trying to break her to stay in the set. And that's just nobody wants to be in that position 25 minutes into a match. You know, like that's a lot to take in. It's almost like the match has just started.
Yeah. And let's see what happens. Maybe Pegula can reset in this set. We saw that with Coco in the round robin match with Swiatek. Obviously, we know Swiatek is a great front runner.
Very great.
By the way, I mean, obviously that's not going to be broken now. Actually, Pegula was like, did you see Pegula's rate of being unbeaten after winning the first set?
It got to 50, I believe, didn't it? Or 51 with the semifinal.
Yeah, 51-0 when winning the first set this season. And she was in like up there with names like Azarenka and like world number ones. Like it's insane how I think because Pegula. I think of Pegula as kind of like the WTA's Andrei Rublev of very, very good, gets a lot of match wins, very consistent, great all-round player, really good but has
and I think
generally matchup issues with the very, very top.
11-0. Both of them have combined like 11. Both of them have lost a combined like 11 or so quarterfinals at majors, I believe. Both of them have that ceiling. That's they have
that sort of that sort of ceiling. I think Pegula maybe is more likely to have a big win than Rublev is, but just because of the nature of how the WTA is. But
I think I agree. What you said, Pegula would be more likely to break that streak and get past the quarterfinal than Rublev. I'm going to say Rublev gets a quarterfinal win before Pegula does.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out in Australia.
Yes. Keep watching. Keep it here and subscribe.
But yeah, like I think Pegula is a much better player than a lot of people give her credit for, and I think often we underestimate kind of how good she is because of those matchup issues that she has. Like she could beat pretty much everyone else. Swiatek tries to go for a mega return and goes long, so it's 15-love.
She has to hold here and like set the tone of the second set being very different. Pegula has to do that.
Yeah. She can't afford to let Swiatek take the advantage in this set. But it's a very, very limp second set that Swiatek's all over. Goes for the forehand up the line to Pegula, now running on the backhand. Backhand Swiatek back to this Pegula backhand, goes into the net. And that backhand from Pegula is breaking down. It is a little lackluster, and it's 15-all.
Limp. A very limp second serve.
Yeah. Oh, you've just seen it. Yeah. Oh, you
I was counting so much on your beautiful descriptions. Like that now it actually makes sense now that I've seen it.
Okay, there you go. First serve off the top of the net and beyond the baseline. Not baseline, service line. Not that bad. Swiatek not really adjusting, jumps in to receive serve on the backhand. Backhand into the middle of the net from Pegula, 15-30. How many times have I said pick backhand into the net, Pegula, today? I haven't been counting.
Her body language is getting a little testy there, Pegula. She's starting to yank at the ball from the ball kids, and her shoulders are getting a little bit lower. She has to tighten up.
They've just flashed up a graphic. Swiatek is 10-0 in finals when she's won the first set in 2023.
And she's won how many titles?
Versus finalists, actually. Oh, yeah, no, versus the other finalists. So it's 10-0 winning the first set against the other finalists. 30-all. Swiatek's gone long in the backhand during a rally. So a bit more of a neutral one. Swiatek pushing that backhand over the baseline. So Pegula still can rescue this game.
She's going to need a little bit of, like, in this moment, she's going to need a little bit of a dip from Swiatek, maybe a free point or two, and she really has to dig in because Swiatek is like itching to blow away with it. She's itching for it. Wouldn't she love to have a 6-1-6 love final match of the season?
Yeah. I don't think we would.
Oh, no, yeah, I would hate that, but she would love it.
Well, I'm not allowed to say whether I would or not. Anyway, forehand cross court from Swiatek. The forehand up the line from Pegula. Swiatek's there with the backhand, change direction, cross court. Now they're in a cross court rally. Swiatek has changed direction up the line. Pegula tries to go for a haymaker, forehand up the line, puts it in the tram lines, 30-40.
First break point of the second set.
And that's the backhand's either going into the net or the forehand's being overhit. And
she's not finding her range. Her timing is just a little off.
And is it because of what Swiatek's throwing at her?
If I could like search for a reason, it may be because her semifinal was so stop and start from Coco that she didn't have anywhere near the rhythm that Swiatek got just yesterday. Because Swiatek did play just yesterday, you know. So
backing up the line from Pegula. Swiatek's on the defense on the forehand. Forehand Pegula's the Swiatek forehand who gets the forehand cross court into play. Now they're trading. Swiatek goes back behind Pegula, who scrambles that forehand into play, making Swiatek play one more shot, and he goes into the top of the net. Juice. Swiatek tried to go for the shot up the line, didn't have enough height on it, weirdly, and it's juice. But that was actually one of Pegula's best points of the match because she just kept herself in it, kept running it down. Really popular. By the way,
this is a really good point. This is a really good point. Yeah, it's probably the most balls she's put in play.
Yeah, she's just decided to just try and make it. Maybe it's after that missing that forehand. First serve in play, short return from Swiatek, who then goes on the attack with the forehand. Pegula's forehand into the net, under pressure from the pace and spin on the Swiatek forehand, even if it wasn't particularly deep. And Pegula's now given Swiatek another break point chance. Great to see having so many people on this stream. Lovely to have you all here. Give us a like if you're enjoying our commentary. Long serve on the first serve from Pegula. And that's, baby got a little bit rattled again. Second serve, short, backhand Swiatek, really, really awkward return. It was really kind of dipping down. Pegula had to really run to pick it up. It wasn't going to go anywhere near the court. Swiatek breaks 1-0. First set. Momentum is firmly with the Pole, who is chasing the return to world number 1.
She wants it. Not that Pegula doesn't, but you can just tell it in her eyes that she really, really wants to end the season. That was a great backhand return, the way she jumped on it. But and I've been really impressed with her backhand. I'm just seeing it, and that is like perfect of timing and like swing at the same time. And actually, if Swiatek wins this match, which she is looking likely that it will happen, she kind of breaks a little bit of a streak, or like the past couple of years streak in the WTA finals, because I've noticed since 2015, most of the winners have actually not been already Grand Slam champions. Since 2015, the only women to lift the title that had already won a Grand Slam were Barty in 2019 and Muguruza in 2021. So if Iga wins it, it'll be the first time since 2019 that a very dominating world number 1 finishes off the season with a WTA finals. But it doesn't always happen, because we've had seasons like Radwanska winning it in 2015, Cibulkova the year after that, Wozniacki won it before she won the Australian Open. Even Garcia just last season. It hasn't been a Grand Slam champion. So,
and I feel like this would break the WTA finals curse, right?
Yeah.
It would kind of break it. I mean, I'd say Iga's probably the most established top, would be the first established top player to win the title since Serena. And I'm not saying they're the same.
I would absolutely agree. Yeah. No one that has won it outside of Barty, but that was even Barty's very first.
Was still kind of.
Yeah, that was her first slam. She hadn't really cemented herself, but
if Barty won in 2020, if they'd held it in 2020, it would have been a different story. That would be the equivalent.
I would agree. Yeah, absolutely.
15 love from Swiatek. Really positive serve there. First serve is long, so second serve for Pegula to try and look at. This is going to be, we'll have to see how well Swiatek can run away with this. We've seen her get tight in finals this year. Mukova in Roland Garros springs to mind.
Yeah, great match, by the way.
Depends on how much it matters to her. Forehand really loopy from Swiatek. Pegula's right, standing inside the baseline, putting Swiatek under pressure on the forehand, goes into the net, 15-all. Yeah, I was just trying to think, well, Pegula's going to have to try and set herself up in an exclusive club of people who've beaten Swiatek in a final. Because I think she'd be the third person ever to do it after Krejcikova
did it, yeah.
A fourth, did it when Swiatek was very, very early in her career.
In Lugano, Switzerland. I believe that's where that was. They have that match. Oh, my God. If you want to be like a Swiatek oracle and know more about her career, the full match of her final in Switzerland against Polona Harkaj is uploaded by the WTA on their YouTube channel. Don't go watch it now. Keep it here and subscribe and like the video and share it, actually. But, after this match, go and check that out.
Great shot. Swing volley at the shoulder, at the net, taken by Swiatek to hit a forehand winner. And she's one of the few people who, you can draw errors by hitting the ball high, like shoulder height and above, but she's one of the few players who can actually still be dangerous when the ball's that high.
Swiatek, right? That's
Swiatek, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the way she takes the cut at the ball. It's the way, like, the angle that she produces on that forehand. She can do it high, even better than she can do it really low, I think.
They're trading forehands, and Swiatek pushes, and like Swiatek again, that's the forehand being rushed by Pegula, puts it over the baseline, 30-all. Pegula going toe-to-toe on the forehand, just keeping on attacking it, trying to rush that wing. We know that can work against Swiatek. So,
I love the
Swiatek's
sound
kind of getting
the
frustrated
shoes.
now.
I love the sound of their shoes that I can hear in my ear. It's very squeaky.
I can't hear anything at the minute. Swiatek starting a little bit frustrated now because she's kind of shrugging at her box. Needs to keep focused. Put the first step into the net. I'm going to say this now, James. Set's not over. As I said, Swiatek can throw in some odd loose games.
Yeah. She's such a perfectionist, though. Like, she literally has all the momentum. She should be showing no signs of anything to her box besides positivity.
Pegula trying to attack on the forehand. Oh my word! Backhand up the line, when Swiatek just clips the line and the outside of the line on the sideline, and it's 40-30. Oh no! Okay, angle for the TV was deceptive because the Hawkeye's just shown it was plumb on the line, but that was still that was threading the needle. That backhand up the line from Swiatek. 40-30.
Yeah, that was a good shot. A great shot, actually.
Oh, kick serve on the first serve. Pegula looked like she was just going to get it over, and then it just clips the top of the net. Game Swiatek 2-love.
Yeah. And things are falling Swiatek's way. They like balls being smack dab on the line, Pegula shots not clipping the tape, like those are things that are just small and probably really frustrating Pegula, but it's all going Swiatek's way.
Yeah, at the minute. And there's different reasons for it. I think Pegula's Pegula's kind of on the back foot from how quickly Swiatek's adjusted. I do say some of Pegula's shots haven't been amazing, but she's playing better this set. Pegula on the backhand goes long, really pushing it. The backhand was getting really close to the baseline already. She was trying to change direction with it. Goes love 15. I would say it probably isn't over unless Swiatek's a double breakup.
Pegula has to make it tight, though. She needs to put herself in a position to ask the question of Swiatek, can you close it out on your own serve? Because we've seen that get a little testy. Mukova at the Roland Garros final, some moments at Wimbledon. You have to keep asking the questions. Swiatek is still a tennis player, and tennis players can get tight closing out matches.
That last rally, they were trading forehands, and this time it's Pegula who goes over the baseline. Love 13. They just flashed up a graphic. Last 20 points. Swiatek 15, Pegula 5.
Feels that way. It definitely feels that way.
Backhand in play on the return from Swiatek. Pegula tries to go for the inside-out forehand. Sharp angled, but it hits the net, and it's 40. It is love 40. Break points for a double break lead for Swiatek. Yeah, that's all I can say is
Right.
This is the narrative is becoming very quickly apparent. First serve into the net from Pegula. Bounces the ball. She does not want. She needs to start the fight back here if she's going to make this a match. Backhand up the line from Swiatek. Forehand Pegula cross court. Forehand cross court from Swiatek. Short. Back forehand Pegula got Swiatek on the stretch. Goes back behind on the serve. Swiatek passes Pegula at the net. Runs in. Gets the angle on the backhand. Really, really great passing shot winner. Pegula was kind of stranded in the middle of the net. Not middle of the court. Maybe too far forward. But that was a really, really good shot from Swiatek to chase it down and pick it up. 3-love with a double break. We're not even at an hour yet.
Man, Pegula's not making my prediction this week look very good. I thought for sure that it would be a champion again who hadn't won a Grand Slam title already, and she looked so good in the round robin stage. It's just not showing up today at all. I think that day off yesterday really must have threw off her momentum. It had. I
mean, she does have a matchup problem with Swiatek anyway.
Yeah, but she's also beaten her twice this season. So like getting beat 6-1, potentially, knock on wood, 6-1, 6-love is different. Well, wait, pause. Didn't she lose in a similar scoreline in Doha this year too? Was it like 6-0, 6-1? Yes, in the final, I believe.
Probably, I would need to check. Yeah, I think we're both looking it up.
Give me 1 second.
I've got it on Wikipedia. Yeah, 3-love.
Yeah. I mean, hope that doesn't happen. Hope the second set is not also a bagel, but Swiatek's playing well and Pegula is not, and also her body language doesn't look like she can really claw her way through it. So
okay,
not
I'm gonna say this, that that United Cup match, Pegula played really, really well to double break to do 6-2, 6-2 on Swiatek, but it was fairly obvious Swiatek wasn't herself that day. What was it Pegula did that, if you can remember, to beat Swiatek in Montreal?
Cotton Eye Joe played, and that was a huge turning point. That's all I got.
I think the Cotton Eye Joe thing benefited Swiatek in the end, didn't it?
I think it did, because I think she won
in the second set.
She won the set, but maybe that, the remnants of that moment happening kind of refocused Pegula. So yeah, we're gonna boil it down to that. Because other than that, and the match in United Cup, where you're saying that Swiatek didn't look herself, ever since Swiatek has quote unquote been herself, which has been 2020 and onward, Swiatek has beaten Pegula like pretty handedly. So it is a matchup issue as long as Swiatek's level is a little bit closer to Pegula's, or Swiatek's level is far above hers today.
Yeah, because that was the thing, is that going into this match, I was favoring Swiatek. I didn't think the score would be this heavy so far. But I did think, given the head-to-head, I was thinking, and given how she'd been playing and how she was imperious, she was increasingly imperious over the course of the tournament she was being, this felt like another Swiatek run. 30-love, by the way. Swiatek kind of controlling the rally there. That's kind of how I saw it going. The only way I saw Pegula winning it would be kind of XL circumstances, as she kind of almost hits herself in the face with a racket, trying to bounce it off the ground, and knocks her visor off her own head.
Yeah, this is a similar-ish performance that I've seen from Pegula a couple times this season. I remember distinctly in the quarterfinals against Azarenka, it wasn't great, and then also in the third round in Roland Garros against Mertens, it wasn't great.
This was a that was a good rally there. You're going to enjoy this one. That was really tight. Like, both players were really going for it, hitting really deep. Swiatek putting each other under pressure. Neither until eventually Pegula was the one who yielded. But that was actually quite a good rally to watch. I wasn't sure which way that one was going to go, but it's 40-love now to Swiatek, who's
she's winning the short rallies, the long rallies, the in-between rallies. She's just winning the rallies.
Missed the first serve out wide. Out wide on the first serve, misses it.
So do you know that she's on track to lose the fewest amount of games in a WTA championship run since Justine Henin in 2007?
I did not know that. By the way, Swiatek hits a kick second serve right up to Jessica Pegula's kind of shoulder on the backhand side, and Pegula puts the return to the net, so it's 4-love. How many games did Enan drop in that 2007?
I think it was 30. I should have taken a picture of the graphic, but
Okay.
she's set to beat that. I think she's only lost 20.
How many gaps has Swiatek dropped so far?
How many games is 20? I think it was
20. So she needs to not drop 10 games. So basically, she needs to avoid losing the next like 12 games in a row.
Basically, yes. Because she bageled Vondrousova, she bageled Coco, and she didn't win like 1 and 2 against Ons Jabeur?
Yeah.
So yeah, the tightest set was 7-5 against Vondrousova. That is insane stuff.
And that was from 2-5 down.
Yes. Yeah, it's been Cruise City.
Okay. We're in it's 15-love. Pegula's hoping to get a game on the board here in this second set. Does not want to be bageled. Second serve in play. Backhand Swiatek up the line. Pegula's running down the forehand. Forehand Swiatek to the Pegula forehand. They're trading forehands now. Swiatek goes up the line. Pegula's scrambling it. Forehand winner Swiatek. That's a trademark Swiatek forehand winner from mid-court, 15-all. I'm just looking up Enan's run in 2007.
She bageled Bartoli.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, because Bartoli was subbing in for Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Enan beat Jankovic 6-2, 6-2. Chakvedadze 6-1, 7-6. Ivanovic 6-4, 6-4. And then the finals, what cost her the big record. She beat Sharapova 5-7, 7-5, 6-3.
That was a great match for a year-ending championship. I remember that one.
Forehand from Swiatek to the forehand of Pegula. Forehand again, Swiatek looped up and inside the baseline. The backhand of Pegula, it's into the net because she was trying to hit it downwards. It was quite high up and it's 15-30. And I think the Polish fans in the crowd are loving it. Absolutely loving it. Yeah. So there you go. Possibly on the verge of the most dominant WTA finals run ever. Unless Serena did something crazy.
She struggled in 2014. I know that, but she still won it. 2013 was a hell of a season, and 2012 was also a hell of a season. But I don't think she dropped.
Oh my goodness! That's a short serve from Pegula, trying to go up the tee. Swiatek just swings the forehand, goes for a tight angled inside-out forehand winner on the return. Another Iga special. Love. It's like 15-40.
James is asking any chance it can go best of 5. Only just gotten into the match. It might actually help Pegula in this instance.
I'm not sure if it would.
Yeah, I don't know.
Second serve, really short from Pegula, kicks up. Pegula, they're trading backhands at the minute. Middle of the court from Swiatek, pushed back by Pegula's forehand, who's moving Iga from side to side with the forehand, trying to go again, but then trying a bit more neutral. That hits into Iga's strike zone. She's going for the forehand again. That one's short. Backhand from Swiatek up the line. Pegula's moving for the forehand. Long rally this one. Iga just makes the one. Slice from Pegula. Iga comes into court, goes over the baseline. Puts too much on that backhand, just sort of scoops it over the baseline. It's 30-40. That was a really good rally from both. If
Pegula could just string some of these rallies together, she might not win them all, but I think it's going to be beneficial. I mean, she has to do something here.
She did well because I thought Iga was going to accelerate that forehand like she does, and Jess dealt with it really well, and then just neutralized it. And Iga was trying to like move her around and go for the lines.
The crowd obviously is trying to put some effort and some energy into Pegula. I can hear them. Like they're trying.
First serve's gone long from Pegula, so it's gonna give Iga a second serve, which is again short. Backhand up line from Swiatek, forehand cross court from Pegula, cross court forehand from Iga. They're trading forehands again. Forehand into the middle of the court. Swiatek again mid court forehand, looping forehand, and then that forehand was so loopy. Again, it was just above Pegula's ideal strike zone. Pegula drags the forehand wide. It's another break for Swiatek. 5-love. She's going to serve for the match and the title and the world
one ranking.
One ranking.
Yeah. Polish fans rejoice.
I wish I spoke Polish right now. All right.
This is going to go into a compilation of Iga Swiatek God mode moments on YouTube. Yeah, they're definitely going to compile all of her winners and make
Sabine
this.
Lisicki fans is going to be busy.
Sabine Lisicki fans should be a subscriber of this program, and if you're watching, then you get a big like and love for your content from me. I really appreciate Sabine Lisicki fans.
Yeah, go if you're not familiar with them, go subscribe to their YouTube channel. They genuinely put together the best highlights packages in tennis.
Yeah, I wonder if they are like coming to terms with the fact that Sabine Lisicki herself is not going to be. Doesn't look like she's going to get back into top elite form. So,
I mean, she hasn't looked like getting back into top elite form since 2014.
Yeah, I think she still plays the ITF here and there. I think I see her name sometimes, but
she's been getting a lot of unfortunate injuries.
Yeah, but that YouTube channel will forever keep her name alive. So there's if you can't win a Grand Slam, you can have that.
Sabine Lisicki is a player that I feel very kind of sorry for in some ways.
Yeah, I definitely think she could have. I mean, I think she achieved a lot to be proud of, but it does feel like she could have achieved just a little bit more.
Like that Wimbledon, she was so close. Although, having said that, someone I played tennis with a few weeks back said he didn't mind that because he's a big Bartoli fan, so he was very happy. In fact, he kind of modeled.
I can't say that I was ever a big
game after Bartoli.
Does he play on two hands on both sides?
Kind of, yeah. With a lot of slice and short balls.
Interesting. That sounds like Fabrice Santoro.
Yeah.
Do you know that? You know that name, Nick?
Yeah. I know of him. Yeah, one of the longest running players on tour. Right, final game maybe. Baby commentator's curse on that one. First serve into the net from Swiatek. Bounces the ball for a second serve. How tight is she going to be? She was tight at the start. Maybe she'll be tight to finish. Forehand. Pegula stepped in, but puts the forehand well over the baseline. It's 15 love. Again, Pegula stepping inside the baseline to receive on the second serve. Surely you would think she was going to try and change that up at this point. But I wouldn't be. But like that was a swing and hope that like she'll play herself into a rhythm kind of shot on the return.
I wonder what Pegula's even thinking to herself right now, and which was going through her mind on that changeover. You know, like.
They're trading some forehands again. Swiatek's really short. Pegula's going to come in and try and attack, and she gets it. That was nice. She comes in, puts it right in the forehand, puts the forehand right in the corner of the court, cross court, and gets a point. 15-all. Really positive point from Pegula. Yeah, at this point, this is the player who's got not much left to lose.
Yeah, and you have no choice but to be positive. I mean, you can't get. The only way it can get worse is if you lose the match, and it does look like that's likely. So you might as well swing.
Shanks the forehand, 15-30. Yeah, maybe Pegula's winning this game.
You're like, you're not going to bagel me.
Nuh-uh, not today. Yeah, so yeah, Swiatek's not going to find it. This is probably the toughest service game she's had for a while, Swiatek. Probably since the first set already.
Did Pegula even generate a break point?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember one. It's interesting. Well, she had 6 minutes to do it.
First step up the tee, short, puts the return into the strike side of Iga, who comes into the net. On the attack, Pegula tried to go for the pass, but it doesn't clear the net. It's 30-all, and Swiatek's looking positive. 2 points away from the title.
In 55 minutes. Wow.
2 points away from being the top of the women's tour again. In her black outfit with streaks of blue. White cap.
She gives me blue Power Ranger vibes. I love it. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan.
Goes out wide, but the first serve misses it. Yeah. I was just trying to remember. I was trying to throw a Power Rangers reference in there, but my brain's too much on tennis.
Go Power Rangers always works.
Go Power Rangers. Forehand into play. Forehand Swiatek to the forehand up the line from Pegula. Winner. 30-40. Break point.
First one of the match.
For the American, who has been broken multiple times already. I think she's been broken, what? I think she's been broken 5 times this match, Pegula. Gets ready. Iga's going to serve. Goes out wide, misses the first serve. It's long. Pegula's going to step in to receive. Sort of turquoise outfit with the black skirt, with the black visor. For those who can't watch. Swiatek, second serve. Gets ready.
First bit of pressure.
Backhand into the net. Backhand on the return into the top of the net. Deuce. And Pegula's annoyed with herself for that. She was trying to go for that return, but it kind of kicked up. Just didn't get enough on the... Yeah, it was a little high. But anyway, Swiatek now is at deuce.
Is this a Zvonareva stan that is entered the chat? Hi.
I mean, if that's the case,
deservedly so, yeah.
Be loving life right now.
Yeah.
There's
part of the WTA Finals doubles championship team with Laura Siegemund. Yeah.
Friend of the show, Laura Siegemund.
Yeah.
Here we go. Swiatek. Serving. Nope, she's abort the ball toss. She's not happy. Exhales. Gets ready to go. First serve in play. Short return from Pegula. Swiatek. Oh, that ball's off the top of the net, but it's in really deep. Overhead from Swiatek. Jess gets a bracket on it. Another swing volley from Swiatek. High winner up the line. Match point.
Match point, championship point. Things have just been falling her way.
We may as well just call it everything point at this rate.
Yeah. The final point of the WTA season.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It depends how you feel about ITFs and of course the Billie Jean King Cup, of which we actually have coverage from happening with John, who's on the ground, and there's actually some press conference coverage that's on the channel. You should check it out after you hear us describe the end of this match.
Absolutely.
Swiatek is bouncing the ball.
58 minutes in.
Can she win in under an hour? Serves. First serve in play. Pegula, really, really tight angle on the backhand. Swiatek's going to have to make a run for it. Pegula's long, and Swiatek has fallen onto her back. She has the biggest smile on her face. She sits up and she shouts Yadza at her box, Nadal-esque. And she wins the WTA Finals final in under an hour. That was a dominant performance from the returning world number one. Well done, Iga Swiatek.
He does it efficiently as possible.
That was insane to commentate.
That was a great level.
I like the bakery is open. She finished the season on a bagel. Iga's Bakery is going to have a field day on Twitter. She's congratulating. She's celebrating with her team. She's getting emotional. She's crying already.
Oh.
What? Just wow. Just wow. I have not commentated on Iga Swiatek win like that. I've watched plenty at home. This is the first time I've had the privilege of commentating on it. That was mad. That was. You can dig into stuff Pegula could have done better. I think she would have won her, but that would have won her a couple of extra games, maybe.
I think maybe I'm just partial, but I do think the level that Iga Swiatek showed at that French Open in 2020, in particular against Simona Halep, was some of the best tennis I've ever seen. But this performance in your last match of the season in singles, in singles or doubles for that matter, it is efficient. And she was just as sharp, if not sharper, than she was in her semifinal when she beat Sabalenka. And that's all you can ask for. Like 6-1-6 love to close out your last match. I think I said earlier that Swiatek would love to have her final match of the season be 6-1-6 love. I kind of said it tongue in cheek. I didn't think it would actually happen, but here we are.
She's done it.
Pegula's basically just like trying to file her nails and keep it together. And she didn't play a terrible match. I don't think she lit it up the stat sheet and made it easy for Swiatek, but Swiatek was just on it. All of her shots, even the ones that weren't like meaningful and kind of shanky, all of those were landing in and making it difficult for Pegula. So congrats to Swiatek.
And this is showing the much more patient play that she's been showing since Beijing, where she can go for winners, and she did a couple of times, but she doesn't feel the need to do it as much as she was earlier this year when she was rushing quite a bit, particularly during the North American hardcourt season. And yeah, she's just much more dangerous when she plays like that.
Has she lost since she lost to Ostapenko at the U.S. Open? She lost.
Yeah, she lost to Kudermetova in Tokyo.
Yes, in Tokyo. So one loss since the U.S. Open, a Beijing title and a WTA finals title. That's a good level to end your season. That's a really good level.
And obviously that's going to give her a huge confidence boost going into 2024.
Yeah, not that she needed an extra one, but you know.
Well, I don't know, because like Jamari's asked a question in the chat that
I was going to hit on that. Yeah, I would love.
I was going to ask you. Okay, so we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Who's the player of the year? Is it Swiatek or Sabalenka?
I think Swiatek has just made a solid case, for me at least, as to why she deserves to be player of the year. I would vote for her. Recency bias aside, after just watching that match, I think a slam plus a WTA final. She's actually won at every single level this year. She's won a 250, a 500, a 1000, a slam, and the WTA finals.
Yeah,
like that is a great season. She's taken bits and pieces of everything you can win in the WTA.
She's won more titles than anyone else this year as well. Like she's still topping the titles list, which you would expect from the world number one. And yeah, I think here's the thing. I think if you look and actually, you know, she could have won a couple more, because if she wasn't sick in Dubai, she would have won that, I think. And definitely if she didn't pull out of Rome mid-match with Rybakina, because I'm still convinced she would have won that match in that quarterfinal had she carried on.
Okay.
But she was being precautionary about any potential injuries. I think she would have won Rome.
Served her well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. So like there was a couple more on the table, but what I was going to say was, I think Swiatek, if you look at the regular WTA season, yeah, strongest across the WTA season. She's won more big titles than anyone else still, even without those missing. She's put herself in contention at pretty much every single regular WTA event, 1000s and 500s that she's played anyway. I think, but with the slams, if you were just going off the majors, Sabalenka, because she's made the semis at all of them, whereas Iga's won one and then made fourth round quarters of the other three. So it depends on which, if you're like the majors matter more than anything else, regardless of how the regular season goes, then you still have to say Sabalenka. If you're kind of a bigger picture person, you have to edge towards Swiatek.
I think Sabalenka has had the best season for Sabalenka, whereas I think the player of the year judges who's had the best season out of everyone. And I think out of everyone, Swiatek has done that. It would be, I mean, even though the slams are the most important, the fact that Sabalenka has been getting to semifinals of slams since 2021 doesn't, as much as that is impressive to do it again in 2023, it also makes it not anything new. Like we knew that she could get to that level. So her making another semifinal of the French Open, although that was new territory for her, that still doesn't trump, to me, what Swiatek has done this season. Defending her 2022 Roland Garros title, winning the WTA finals for the first time, a 1000 win in a part of the world that she had really never competed in Beijing. And yeah, I would vote for her. I think she gets the win in my eyes.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a reasonable argument for Sabalenka. I think, you know, if you take a majors, if you focus on the majors, Sabalenka's had the better season. But I agree with you that, yeah, from a whole season perspective, then Swiatek edges it.
Jamari's made it plain and simple. Sabalenka, 2 big titles, Australia, Madrid. Swiatek, 3 big titles.
And that's the point, because Sabalenka's had the opposite season, because outside of outside of the post Australia, because obviously she won the Adelaide title as well, which is a 500. Outside of those, like Sabalenka wasn't really much in contention for big titles. Like she was in the Indian Wells final, could have won that, narrowly won Madrid, but then other than that, didn't really put herself in the position to win other title?
It depends on if you look at her being a set up in the U.S. Open final as an opportunity, because that happened. She was a set away from winning the U.S. Open in Australia just a couple months ago, but it didn't fall her way. So yeah, I can see why somebody would vote for Sabalenka, but I feel like it would be based more in sentimental value of seeing Sabalenka finally reach what looked like was always going to be her peak and finally win a Grand Slam tournament. But overall, I think it's still Swiatek. And to follow up that 2022 season with another slam, 3 big titles, finishing world number 1 again, like that is an accomplishment. And I feel like we can officially say that Swiatek is the dominant figure in women's tennis. She has competition. She's not like blasting away from Sabalenka, Coco, and Rybakina. There's a matchup issue against Coco that definitely favors her, but the 2, 3, and 4 behind her set up a nice top 5 along with Jessica Pegula. So it's just that she's clearly it's shown that against even those rivals, if she plays her best, she wins. So yeah.
And let's face it, things worked out for Swiatek at this tournament. It was a slow, hard court, which Blair Henley in the interview said plays like a clay court. That already played into her, into everything she wanted.
Why is everything playing like a clay court these days? We have to write a letter to these tournaments.
Make tennis fast again. We have and then obviously with the wind, Swiatek's high top spin game was always going to work best out of anyone's in those conditions. I do think this final and actually her semi-final, the conditions have calmed down. And she made the most of it. So yeah, full credit to her. I think she made the best of it. There's chat in the there's questions in the chat, so I'm just going to answer it now. Stuttgart is a 500. Some people are confused about that.
Swiatek's won it 2 years in a row now, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of her places that she's locked in at.
It's one of her stomping grounds. She has plenty of them.
Paris, Stuttgart, Rome, Doha.
Yeah,
I think that's about it.
I mean, that's a good place to feel comfortable, or good places to feel comfortable. So.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Swiatek. Those with cameras kind of jumping from her, just sort of taking everything in to the WTA trophy. WTA.
Do you know the name of the WTA trophy? Do you know the name?
No, I don't. Do you?
It is the Billie Jean King Cup trophy.
That's not
Billie Jean King trophy. I think take out the cup because that's
because the Billie Jean King Cup.
I think it's the Billie Jean King trophy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, justifiably so. I think. Let's face it, Billie Jean King basically built the WTA. And that's why she's a GOAT contender.
Future friend to the show. We can't wait to get Billie Jean King on Talking Tennis.
That would be amazing. That can be the producer's homework. But yeah, well, we're hoping you enjoy coverage. There seems to be some kind of Spanish guitar performance going on with the.
That is the name of a Tony Braxton song. I love that song.
Spanish guitar.
Yes, it's the name of a Tony Braxton song.
Well, join myself and Miles for our music podcast. No, we don't actually have.
Well, we talk about Nelly, country music, and Tony Braxton. I mean, what more could you want?
None of these are things I listen to, by the way. So this could be very short.
Do you
know what this is? No. End of episode.
I'm just expounding your mind. That's all. Which you could do the same to me. I've always wanted to get into different genres of music.
Appreciate it. Thank you. By the way,
thank you as well to Terry. Terry said it's been a great year of commentary. Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've massively enjoyed everything we've done this year. Miles, obviously, always a great job. Damien, Vanch, Damien on screen, by the way, with some great analysis. Even when Pegula had the patterns she wanted, flat aggression at the Swiatek forehand, she quickly got disheartened by how much was coming back. Iga's been so good at these discreet, excellent performances recently. Perfect tactics, execution without trying to be too flashy about it. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Anything you want to add to that, Miles?
Perfectly said by Talking Tennis, Damien. one
AKA
of the pillars of this community. Yeah.
AKA the brain in the jar, as John refers to him. Did we do the Australian Open final? Was it you, me, and Ashley doing? Yes, it was you, me, and Ashley doing the Australian Open final this year.
I think you and I did the WTA finals last year as well, Nick.
No, I didn't do the final last year because it was a horrific time zone problem. You did it with someone else.
Really?
Yeah, guy who's based in Hawaii. Can't remember his name.
Yeah. But I could have sworn maybe you were like I think you did a lot of matches.
I think we did a semi-final. I think we did the Swiatek Sabalenka semi-final. Or at least I remember doing that with Ashley. I can't remember if you were there. But I always want to do commentary with you, Miles.
Steve Simon's making an appearance at the trophy ceremony. Look at that.
I'm checking for rotten fruits. No, Ghosty can't be there.
He looks just as peachy as ever. He should not be.
Well, do you know what there was an Iga Swiatek fan on X who or Twitter, as I should call it, which who tagged me in like the WTA final statement and suggested that either myself or JI from Twitter should be the new WTA finals president. And I was like, you massively overestimate my business skills.
I wouldn't necessarily. I think you would be a wonderful addition to what the WTA has going on in their headquarters, on the grounds. Like,
yeah, but I mean, they can't commentate anymore.
This is true. I mean, but hey, you can multitask. My name is Multitasking Miles-ish. So you can multitask as well, too. Oh, Chris Everett's there for the ceremony. That's nice. She looks great.
This is going to be one of those longer ceremonies, isn't it?
Yeah, they have a lot to talk about, I guess. And they may even, I was thinking about this. This ceremony would be a great time to announce where they are going to put the WTA trophy or WTA finals next year.
Yes.
We'll see. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, is it, we think it's probably going to be Saudi Arabia, right?
Based off of reports, it does seem that way. Yes.
I mean, at this point, I'll just take wherever's a permanent home.
Agree.
Regardless of how uncomfortable and sort of, I guess, weirdly counterintuitive to play the women's tennis finals in Saudi Arabia.
There's, I've said this before, like there's not one utopian place that just ticks off all the boxes. There
really isn't.
Yeah,
even the US.
You can complain about several things in the US that would make a case as to why the WTA shouldn't be competing.
UK definitely, yeah.
So, but that's not to minimize people's actual
concerns about it. Yeah,
concerns about Saudi. Not to minimize it, but unfortunately, what the WTA is, it needs financial stability, and if we don't get that, we could be putting the entire tour at risk. And what we like so much as fans of the sport. So I'd rather see the WTA thrive and maybe even make the situation better in Saudi Arabia than how they found it. Hopefully.
I would agree with that.
That's like, in a perfect world. We'll see if that happens, but
I agree with that. I think that's my perspective as well. I think my ideal choice would have been Prague had we'd not realized that, but then we found out the issues that they would have had with certain players not being able to go. So which
I think they could have worked around that. If Prague ends up being a home announced well in advance, that could be great.
Tennis is huge in Czechia. So or was it Czechia? Anyway, it makes no sense to me that their biggest event is a WTA 250.
It was a 500 in Ostrava. Oh, but this season it was a 250 in Prague. Yeah. Ostrava wasn't even on the calendar this year, so Prague literally was the only representation. So.
Yeah, I would love there to be a decent sized Czech event. Just because, again, that it's so big, it would pack the place out. It would be great atmosphere. I would go.
Looks like the crowd is chanting Iga. I love that. That's cute.
Yeah, she seems to have won over a few people. Either that, or she she flew some people out from Poland. Yeah, so there's some kind of speech. The speeches are continuing. Yeah, we are soaking in Iga's return to dominance, maybe, because or at least asserting herself again at the top. I don't think she'll ever be truly dominant in the way Serena was.
Well, she's proven that you can win 2 slams in a season. So I don't think it seems far off now, but coming from somebody that has watched a lot of Serena's career, some of the things that even Serena achieved felt far off, before she achieved them. So you never know. You really never know.
I guess with Serena, though, she kind of peaked with Serena Slam very early.
I mean, I think her first professional match must have been in between 94 and 97. She won the US Open in 99. And by 2002, 2003 rather, she had owned every single Grand Slam. I mean, Swiatek's 2 away. I don't necessarily see that she's going to win it in a calendar year format for sure.
And she has to conquer her problems with Wimbledon.
Yeah, I don't think
I think she's on the way to do it.
Swiatek Slam. Yeah. He's getting better. I don't think there's a Swiatek Slam in the future, but I definitely think there are a couple more Roland Garros titles on her name, a future Australian Open title with her name. I mean,
I would be surprised if she doesn't end her career with at least one Australian Open title.
She's made a semi there before. She could do it again. Derek Edwardson just asked a really good question, I think. Is Iga better than Barty? I don't know about better.
We'll never know.
I think because their rivalry never really got started. I think they played in Madrid and Barty won that one. They played in Adelaide and Barty won that one too.
Yeah, and it was peak Barty as Iga was discovering hers. I would have been interested to see if the Iga from the 2022 streak played Barty.
Yeah.
What happened?
Interesting.
I think that would have been a battle.
If Barty never comes back to the tour, then obviously I think Iga's on a better trajectory to be more accomplished than Barty. And personally, I think I prefer watching Iga over Ash Barty. But Ash Barty's a good player in her own right.
Yeah. I would, well, obviously, I'm of course going to agree with that. I think Iga would have beaten Barty in 2022 if they played again.
At least one. Yeah, I agree.
If on any surface other than grass, Barty would
probably have sliced her up.
Yeah, would own her on that surface.
But I don't know. We said just a couple minutes ago that everything plays like clay, so who knows these days?
I think the US Open would have been interesting. But then of course, then there's the question, how would have Barty dealt with the Sabalenka surge this season if she was still playing?
They had an interesting rivalry too. They played a couple different times, and their matches weren't bad at all. So,
no, completely. They've had to that Stuttgart Madrid back to back in 21 was an interesting sequence of matches for those two. Pegula's going up to receive her runners-up trophy, by the way. She's put on some kind of black jumper, flowy. Is it a jumper? What is that? I don't know how to describe it. I don't know enough about clothing.
Poncho? I think
poncho. That would do it. Yes, thank you. Showing my Britishness, I apologize. That's actually the most British thing I've ever said. Anyway, Pegula has received her runners-up trophy, which looks like a sort of silver snowflake on a wooden stand, and she's now giving her runners-up speech. Is she saying anything interesting, Miles?
Let me turn my
maybe. Well, actually, no. Tell you what, we've got a production assistant in the background. If they're able to listen, they can let us know. I doubt they're going to say anything interesting though, because she's already
congratulated Iga and her team, so it sounds very par of the course.
Yeah, most of these speeches are. I don't really tune in for them. They very rarely give away anything interesting. I think. Obviously, they do give a few highlights, like Jennifer Brady by Osaka when she won Australia in 21.
Coco Gauff's US Open had a pretty good one-liner in there too. So
yeah, Coco's US Open was good. But yeah, we were talking about Barty and how she fits into the big picture. Like if she was still playing, how would she be matching up with the 2023 version of Sabalenka? The Rybakina has beaten her before. I think. Has Rybakina beaten Barty? Anyway,
they played once. I think they played in the last WTA match of Barty's career before she retired like WTA tour match.
I think I remember that being a decent match.
I think she beat Swiatek and Rybakina in that same tournament. Yeah,
the two people who ended up winning slams, that other two other slams.
So if that's an indicator, then she would have fit right on in.
Yeah. Oh, she would have been a contender. She'd be in like this mix, like.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if we get Osaka into the mix, and we had Ash Barty.
Yeah.
And we had Bianca Andreescu and Raducanu and Leylah Fernandez.
Please.
I want all of those personalities.
I want Osaka in the mix. I want Raducanu in the mix. I want Fernandez in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Zhang Qinwen.
Yes. Sign me up for that as well.
She's on her way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've tweeted about this earlier. Like I just shared the top 10 21 and under rankings on the WTA, like who's there, and there's some really interesting names, and then like there's some names that are conspicuous by their absence, like Raducanu and Towson and Kvitova. Yeah, there was still a lot to get excited about. I mean, the top three is Goff, Zhang, and Fernandez.
As far as like age,
21 and under.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to go there in this conversation, but I'm looking at the top 20 currently, and some of the names that we've said that aren't in there, I can give up some names of who I'd rather see them switch places with.
Yeah, maybe this is Redmond. Iga's being called up to the stage. So we may as well talk us through what happened. Chris Evert, no one knows what's happening. Everyone's kind of like being told what to do, but like no one's clearly rehearsed this. Evert picks up the Billie Jean King trophy, this sort of lovely sort of designed silver cup, hands it to Swiatek, who thanks her for it and raises it above her head and shakes it. Fortunately, the lid doesn't fall off. Like at Roland Garros. She raises it and shows it to the crowd, shows off the latest trophy in her collection, which, let's face it, is starting to get
very impressive trophy collection. When Architectural Digest does a tour of Iga Swiatek's Polish countryside home in about 10 years or so, I think her trophy cabinet is going to look pretty nice.
Yeah. So very, very good. So yeah, she's
2023 WTA Final Singles Champion, Iga Swiatek.
Yes. What a name to have on the Roll of Honor. We'll see what this means, how she's going to go forward.
Has she connected with Taylor Swift yet? Like, has Taylor Swift been aware of
Taylor Swift needs to give it a
Yeah, she should. I mean,
tickets.
Swiatek has been saying for some years now she's a Swiftie, and she's like a very like in the sporting world, maybe not to like celebrity athlete international status, but I feel like her people can get in touch with Taylor Swift. I don't see why not.
Maybe
she's the number one tennis player in the world.
Maybe Taylor's currently a little bit distracted at the minute.
I have a whole idea. Like Taylor could have a whole music video that she could play up on tennis. Something in her songs. It doesn't have to involve tennis as a whole, but a tennis court could definitely be a part of it. And then boom, call Iga Swiatek. If anybody's listening, I'm the man for that. I'll produce the whole thing.
Do you have a background in music production?
No, but I have ideas, and ideas are they're half the issue.
Let's face it, that's how Talking Tennis started. An idea in John's head who was like, I have no experience in this, but we'll give it a go. And look where we are now.
Look at us now. Yeah, look at us now.
Look at us now. We have 3,700 subscribers. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, you should come and join these numbers. Join us. No. But yeah, definitely subscribe because there'll be more content coming your way. We're going to do a full debrief on the WTA finals tomorrow on WTA Weekly, and I will be hosting the show as always. We will have lots of coverage coming from the Billie Jean King Cup this week. John is there. He's going to be interviewing as many people as he can find, and he'll be bringing us all the updates from maybe some would say the real closing event of the season. Depends on how much you care about it. I care about it. I always enjoy Billie Jean King Cup and Davis Cup, even if it's current format. And then, but also keep an eye because, well, it's the ATP finals coming up, and we will be bringing you all the coverage.
I'm mildly excited for that one. Mildly.
Yes. So we will have commentary like this of the ATP finals. We're going to have any kind of other fun features that we do similar to this WTA finals, and yeah, that's when we really do sign off the tennis season. For me, I guess, my tennis season is winding down now. The WTA season's ending. As Iga Swiatek kisses the trophy, and I was posing with Jessica.
A flurry of Spanish music and confetti. She's the champion. That's the end of the WTA Tour regular season.
And let's face it, what's more WTA at the minute than Iga Swiatek serving some bagels
and a breadstick?
And a breadstick. The bakery has been thrown open for all.
Yeah, that's 2 consecutive seasons now with at least 20 bagels in a year. That's something.
The level that woman can produce is mind blowing.
At least Swiatek and Pegula can find some moments to giggle, because I'm not sure I'd be giggly after losing 6-1, 6-love. So that's a good representation of them, especially in spite of all the things that have gone on in Cancun. It wasn't the most thrilling match, obviously, but there's still some good scenes. Good scenes. Sombreros can change everything. They have men playing guitars and trombones with sombreros on, and that can change anybody's mood.
Sombrero? Are you saying sombreros make everything better?
Yes, absolutely. Put a sombrero. Right. I challenge you. If you're ever in a funky mood, put a sombrero on and watch what happens. Okay.
Right. So that's it. Australian Open coverage. You and I getting sombreros.
Sure. Let's do it before then. Let's do Acapulco and really, make it a full loop.
Acapulco's after the Australian Open.
Yeah. Maybe we're not going anywhere. I'm going to be a tennis fan before the Australian Open, after the Australian Open.
Yeah. It's ideas. We're throwing ideas out there.
Yes, this is what we do at Talking Tennis. We talk through tennis ideas.
Yeah, let's face it. It's just sort of things can get a bit odd over here. Usually when I'm in the commentary chair. Don't worry, Jane. I will be doing WTA power rankings before every major. I always enjoy doing those. To be honest, my main motivation for doing those is no one else on the internet, on the YouTube internet, is doing them for the WTA. So
I have to find something that no one else is doing on the YouTube about tennis. I have some ideas. I just haven't really put them out there on YouTube land yet.
Well, when you do, where can we find you?
You can look me up on all socials at Tuned Into Tennis. Not to be confused with Talking Tennis, although I do love my Talking Tennis family, but to find my specific thoughts about live tennis matches, recaps of tournaments, and some colorful analysis of the sport. That's the best way I like to put it. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Tuned Into Tennis. I actually may be doing a Tuesday Tuned Into Tennis special on Twitter Spaces tomorrow afternoon. So make sure to go over to Twitter, follow me there, and we can have a nice conversation about the final WTA event of the season and some other fun things.
You know what you were saying about sombreros making everything better?
What's that?
Well, they've just put sombreros on the 2 finalists. Eva's swapping out her cap for it. She's making sure her hair, getting her hair ready for it. I'm going to say this now, judging by the expression on Jessica Pegula's face, sombreros do not make everything better.
She won one in Guadalajara last year. This one just might not be as big.
I'm not entirely sure a sombrero makes her current situation better, is more what I'm saying.
I'm sure that runner-up check might when she actually puts her hands on it.
Hey, look, not all tennis players are Sloane Stephens. The Czech does not have to feature so heavily.
How did Sloane Stephens catch a stray on this day in November?
I will
That's
find
crazy.
a way.
Oh, wait. Sloane Stephens competing in the Billie Jean King Cup, right? For the
she's in
USA,
US.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. We tied it all together. Go Sloane Stephens.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think after almost about 2 hours, I think we probably ended up talking and streaming for longer than the match, like double the length of the actual match. No, the actual match was about an hour, just 58 minutes.
Yes.
So we were all right. We're not going to embarrass the WTA. We'll probably end this pretty soon.
I think this is a nice time to do our outro. Yeah.
Well then, thank you so much for coming on, Miles, and I will definitely be tuning into tennis with you. And you should keep talking tennis with us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Follow us on X, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. Please do come on this journey with us. Thanks for being with us for the WTA season in 2024. We're not quite done yet. We will be doing some more to wrap up the season. Oh, that's nice. Chris Everett's posing with Jessica Pegula for photos. But I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us, and keep an eye on everything we're doing from Seville. But until now, as Iga Swiatek steps up with the WTA trophy, wearing a blue sombrero, surrounded by confetti and a mariachi band, I will say thank you all so much for joining. Take care and keep talking tennis.
That's all, folks.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.